Now, before we get started, there's a solid chance the majority of the following upcoming features could still find a way to knock it out of the park by the time they land in front of audiences down the road. And fingers crossed, eh? But from whip-cracking icons not exactly looking the part right about now, to already questionable biopics adding certain unwanted elements to the mix. These are those movies that appear to have trouble written all over them at this current moment in time. Gareth here from WhatCulture.com, and here are 10 upcoming movies that look terrible. Number 10, Ant-Man and the Wasp: QUANTUMANIA. Perhaps the biggest criticism sent Marvel Studios' way over the last year or so has centered around the big and small screen titans CGI not always looking up to scratch. And with the team behind the MCU still forcing out a seemingly never-ending stream of content, it's safe to assume the talented VFX artists behind some of the more questionable digital effects seen in the universe recently will continue to be overworked towards more unreasonable deadlines. Look no further than the most recent teaser for the upcoming Ant-Man and the Wasp: QUANTUMANIA entry for another example of Marvel seemingly rushing out some pretty unremarkable visual effects. And this has understandably left many fans feeling a little concerned about another incoming project being hampered by substandard CGI. And while there's still time to tighten up the digital world of the quantum realm, seemingly brought to life using the volume stage that helped bring Thor: Love and Thunder into being, early reactions to Kang the Conqueror's on-screen debut have seen fans label the next big MCU movie as looking like Disney Plus quality, and they've even drawn unflattering comparisons to Spy Kids 3D. Here's hoping Marvel gets their acts together by February 17th, eh? Number 9, SHAZAM: Fury of the Gods. Hot on the heels of Black Adam not exactly changing the hierarchy of power within the universe as suggested, and new co-CEOs of DC Studios James Gunn and Peter Safran looking to potentially truly start afresh with DC on the big screen, the next batch of already in production Warner Bros. Discovery DCEU projects appear to be facing something of an uphill battle. And a quick glance at the already released trailer footage of the incoming sequel to one of the lowest box office performers of the DCEU bunch doesn't exactly point to a bright future for Zachary Levi's SHAZAM either. On top of the general feel of Fury of the Gods not exactly setting the world on fire, with much of the star-studded cast looking as though they're once again about to get lost in the overstuffed CGI shuffle, much of the comedy packed into the first trailer failed to really land too. In fact, director David F. Sandberg has already attempted to put some concerned fans at ease with the reveal of the heavily derided "I love my life" one-liner in said trailer not actually being in the finished film itself. But the rest of the shoehorned pop culture references and cliches on show, they look as though they're unfortunately here to stay. Number 8, The Expendables 4. For a while there, the all-round silence when it came to all things Expendables 4 left many wondering whether the finished fourth entry in the series would even make its way into theaters at all. But as of October, the film is finally set to smash onto the scene on September 22nd, 2023. The question is though, are audiences in any real rush to return to all things Expendable in the coming year? The last outing for the over-the-hill badasses didn't exactly blow up the box office nearly a decade ago, and not even the return to an R rating for the franchise is enough to guarantee a return to form for all involved. A first look at the supposed poster for this incoming action spectacle, one that is set to introduce a few new faces in the form of Megan Fox, Andy Garcia, and 50 Cent, also tells the story of a once fun franchise that should have probably just been left to die in all honesty. They'll die when they're dead though, apparently, according to said poster, a statement that looks increasingly likely to become a reality on the back of a story said to be centered around a nuclear conflict between the USA and Russia. What could go wrong, eh? Number 7, Fast 10. Even without so much as a trailer to dissect at time of recording, the upcoming next chapter for Vince Diesel's petrol-fueled celebration of all things family has still found a way to be one of the most talked about incoming entries of the year, but not for the reasons you would hope. On the back of Justin Lin walking out of the production in April, it was reported that Louis Leterrier had settled into the driver's seat for the simply stacked 10th outing for the Toretto clan. But the first few warning signs in the form of the previous director wanting out after Diesel reportedly turned up to set out of shape and not knowing his lines doesn't exactly suggest the most productive of workplaces on the set of Fast 10. If that wasn't enough of a red flag over what could be heading fans' way in 2023, the fact the budget on the epic car flick has ballooned up to around $340 million both hints at the project likely struggling to turn a profit for Universal Pictures, and once again being a film more obsessed with increasingly ambitious dumb stunts than actually forging a genuinely compelling family tale. Number 6, I Wanna Dance With Somebody. Whitney Houston looks set to become the latest musical icon to receive the movie treatment before the end of the year. And while Naomi Aki has already impressed the masses with her take on the iconic figure, the first look at the film's promotional material as a whole has still left some feeling a little concerned about what could be landing on December 23rd. Along with it seeming as though the project is heading down the more traditional route instead of the inspired, innovative and fresh directions Rocketman and the recent Elvis picture opted for, the reveal of I Wanna Dance With Somebody's writers have left many feeling seriously uneasy about how Houston's story could be handled throughout. With Anthony McCartan also being responsible for the wholly divisive script used for Bohemian Rhapsody, one that came in for criticism based on how it handled the more sensitive aspects of Freddie's life, it's not hard to see why some Whitney fans will be heading into the upcoming cinematic dive into the star's life feeling a touch apprehensive. Number 5, Shotgun Wedding. Seemingly joining the ever-growing collection of instantly forgettable straight-to-streaming service rom-coms being churned out by the likes of Netflix, Amazon Prime and Disney Plus over the years, Shotgun Wedding's trailers, while at least slightly surprising, didn't offer up too much hope for the Jennifer Lopez starring flick. In the wake of Armie Hammer once being attached to star alongside J-Lo in the wedding action comedy, abuse allegations made against the former soon set the stage for Josh Duhamel taking over as Tom. But the first bizarre glimpse at the leading lights in said disjointed trailer provide all the evidence needed as to why the doomed picture wasn't actually given an eventual theatrical release as originally planned. Part stressful wedding day shenanigans, part all-out action hostage chaos. This attempt to merge the two conflicting genres did make for one hell of a shock mid-trailer if you weren't already in the know. Yet once the dust has settled on that revelation, it doesn't appear as though the long-awaited rom-com boasts enough comedic zip or engaging performances to justify going out of your way to catch it in the new year. Number 4, Red One. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's latest bid to relentlessly kickstart another franchise hasn't exactly inspired waves of anticipation at present. Perhaps a side effect of the former WWE star's recent underperforming work as Black Adam, Johnson's team up with Captain America himself, Chris Evans, in the holiday adventure that is Red One, feels like yet another rather uninspired standard Rock picture. You know the one. Now sure, adding J.K. Simmons to the mix as Shredded Santa acts as a welcome addition because of course it does, but it is starting to feel as though Johnson's outings are beginning to disappointingly blur into the you've seen one of them, you've seen them all territory of late. Perhaps Red One will deliver something truly unique and genuinely turn the holiday adventure genre on its head next year, but it feels more likely it will merely act as yet another forgettable chunk of empty blockbuster calories to add to Johnson's naughty list. Number 3, Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. In the lovable slice of brilliance that was 2018's Bumblebee, fans were given a source of hope for what the future could potentially hold for the Transformers series on the back of the other more nonsensical Michael Bay entries. So with the next Transformers flick being set to act as a sequel to the aforementioned Bumblebee showing, many were understandably bracing themselves for more of the same by the time Rise of the Beast trailer dropped. Unfortunately though, there was one major criticism that came with an otherwise not entirely terrible first trailer. Throughout this live-action introduction of the Maximals, Terracons, and Predacons, many couldn't escape the fact that the CGI on show felt like it had taken some serious backward steps in comparison to other films in the franchise, with some even noting how the first 2007 outing was stronger in terms of digital effects. Again, with this 1994 set Robo feature still a solid 6 months away from release, there is plenty of time to polish up that dodgy-looking CGI. But away from the effects-heavy action needing some attention, fans will likely also be hoping the film in general follows a similar path to the most acclaimed Transformers flick to date, and doesn't revert back to the lackluster, bloated, and often offensive pre-Bumblebee era. Number 2, Super Mario Bros. The fact that all involved with the latest attempt to give everyone's favourite Italian plumber and his pals the big screen treatment clearly went out of their way to keep a certain element of the incoming animated offering as far away from the spotlight as possible spoke volumes during the first look at the Super Mario Bros. Movie. Though the rest of the vibrant delights on show did actually hint at the supporting cast definitely bringing their A-game, in particular a riotous Jack Black as Bowser, and some genuinely hilarious beats brought to life through rather impressive animation, Anxiety still remained over the Chris Pratt voiced elephant in the room, and said anxiousness has only increased after the subsequent official trailer for the Nintendo adaptation, with the leading voice still feeling as though it simply doesn't belong in the body of such an iconic pop culture figure throughout these first glimpses of Pratt's iteration of Mario. Whether you're a fan of the energy the actor is bringing to this particular star-studded party, or are one of the many who feel this jarring portrayal holds the potential to continue to steal headlines for all the wrong reasons, it's safe to say both parties will still likely be lining up to see what the Guardians of the Galaxy star eventually unleashes in the highly anticipated finished animated article. I know I will. Number 1, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. If you needed a reminder just how beloved Harrison Ford's iconic whip-wielding archaeologist still is in the year of 2022, then the way the internet entirely melted upon the long-awaited release of the first look at James Mangold's incoming 5th Indiana Jones entry likely did the trick. And while seeing the legendary Ford crack wise and punch Nazis will never not be unquestionably epic, there were a few elements within this Dial of Destiny reveal that left fans feeling slightly underwhelmed, with one of the major complaints heading out of the wholly divisive last indie outing that was Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, centering around the dodgy CGI that reared its head throughout, the sight of even more clunky digital effects making their unwanted presence known in the first trailer understandably frustrated some. Though the use of digital de-aging in regards to Indy himself at certain points in the trailer is almost disturbingly on point, it must be said. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I'll leave that to you. The linked title of the 2023 entry itself hasn't exactly elicited waves of excitement from indie diehards either. As with a few of the other flicks on this list, however, there's still time to make the visual of a Jones stunt double or blatant CGI swap-in less jarring for those buckling up for one last ride with the cherished figure. So fingers crossed Lucasfilm and Disney managed to iron out the digital kinks for what must surely sit as Ford's final hurrah under the fedora. And that's our list. Know of any other upcoming movies that look terrible? Let us know all about them in the comment section right down below, and do not forget to like, share and click on that subscribe button while you're at it. Also, if you like this kind of thing, then head on over to whatculture.com and find some more incredible articles just like the one this video you're watching right this second is based on. I've been Gareth from whatculture.com. Thank you as always for clicking on this fantastic video today. Hopefully I'll see your faces very, very soon, but in the meantime, hey, be good to yourself and bye bye.